Hello and welcome, Path Paver. You're with Brandy and Jessica this morning or this
Hi.
afternoon or whenever this finds you, whenever this video finds you. You may have noticed we have a couple changes happening. So our YouTube channel description and our title has shifted, has changed a little bit. And so that is just how we're evolving at this time. Good morning, Jess.
Hello.
And part of our structure too is kind of changing, but anyway, we'll get into that. So we are having discussions, weekly discussions on this channel around the energy updates. And we use a lot of our own intuitive um, knowingness to guide you and help you on your direction. But we also utilize the tool of evolutionary astrology. So if you're new here, it's a lot around evolutionary astrology, and it's really to help you make sense of the energies, follow the energies as a map of change, basically, right? And so that you can consistently evolve each month and through the energies and consistently evolve and grow and change. And change is on the menu right now. We are directly in eclipse season, which eclipses in general just bring a lot of change. And then it's happening in the sign of Scorpio, the first eclipse that we had yesterday, which was October 25th. It's a new moon. It was a partial solar eclipse. And so it's like we're getting a double dose of that energy right now, asking us to detach from something that we've been really attached to and leave something behind and go towards that change. And usually those new moons are really a time for new beginnings. And this still is, but it's a new beginning in something that has to kind of die out, if that makes sense, because that's the energy we're in. Um, so yeah, good. How are you feeling, Jess, today? How's it going? We're gonna get
I'm
into more of
okay.
that, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay. But yeah, definitely feeling like there's change in the air and like that death rebirth
Yes.
cycle and like the feelings around that. Like I'm definitely feeling that.
That's exactly what we're in. So we're going to talk a little bit about Scorpio season in this particular video, and what that kind of looks like, and then what the next transits in this for this week, but also for this next month, because the season is a month long. And a Scorpio season, we just entered it on October 23rd, and it will go to November 22nd. So, and then we'll be in Sagittarius season. But for now, let's just discuss a bit of the topics and kind of what has been coming up on a more personal level for Jess and I, in a way that we're not excluded from these energies. I mean, we're going through it, and I think part of the way we express ourselves here is that we want to make sure that it's relatable, and that you can relate to what's happening, because that's the point of an energy update, in my opinion, is things are going on and you want to see how that kind of affects you. So of course your personal birth chart will give you tons of information on how that's affected for you. But here on our weekly chats, it's more the general, and then you're going to have to kind of like intuitively for yourself, like set it up of kind of what you're going through and moving through. But in our membership, we definitely we dive a little deeper. And oh yeah, which reminds me, hit the notification bell if you want to like be reminded that we come on weekly. You can subscribe and make sure you share with someone that is a path paver, and that is really looking to bring their vision to life, and really coming into making the changes, right? Making the changes. And what did Jess and I say? For a better world, right? For we want for that new to come to light, and here we are on the forefront of that. So yes, 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 yes. Okay, Scorpio season. Scorpio is, like just said, the death and rebirth energy. So it's everything around also abandonment, betrayal, loss, and mistrust. It's a lot of shadow that is coming up, but it's also a lot about empowerment. and coming into one's own power. And finally, it's about merging, energy merging with the other, and whatever the other stands, it's the other people, work, it can be things that we attach to, but we're really asked lately to look at that. What are we attached to? So I know, like, Jess and I have been having conversations about certain patterns that are coming to light, and that we will have in Scorpio season. It's all the undercurrent feelings and emotions and everything that we've been suppressing or not conscious of yet. It all makes its way up in Scorpio season. Okay, it churns up. Why? Because the main evolutionary intention of Scorpio, or anything moving through Scorpio, is to evolve. Is to evolve. So we're going to be seeing in Scorpio season, we're going to be seeing Venus move very quickly through Scorpio. We're going to be seeing Mercury move through Scorpio. We have the sun, obviously, moving through Scorpio. And we are going to have all those energies with Saturn just went direct on the 23rd of October. We're going to have Jupiter retrograde enter Pisces on October 28th. And we're going to have our famous Mars. Our Mars is going retrograde very soon at the end of the month too. I believe it's on the 29th, which is all pretty much this week, I would say. Yes. So Mars on the 30th. Yeah. Mercury enters Scorpio on the 29th. So what does all this gibberish mean? Well, the Mars aspect is really asking us to slow down. And I think that's what I want to discuss a bit with Jess. And we're going to bring some stuff to light for you, is that when a planet goes retrograde, it's because the soul wants to create awareness around something. Okay. And Mars is not, does not like to go retrograde so much, because it's the part of us that gets that it's our action oriented that's going to be slowed down, and it's going to be slowed down in the sign of Gemini. So Gemini is how we gather information and how we make sense. It's our left brain, it's the mind, and how we understand and how we express ourselves. And Mars is going to be asked to slow down the process of initiating action. Because what does Mars do usually? It helps us unfold. It helps us take action towards our desires. And that is going to be slowed down for quite a while here. And the intent is for us to fully think things through. We're going to be asked to think things through here around what we desire. Okay. So we have a vision. We want to bring something to life. We want to do something here. We want to go our own way. We want to live life on our own terms. We want something to happen here. So this retrograde is really important, and it's going through this week. So we're already feeling things around that, and I know for me, and that's where I want to have a conversation with Jess, is like, what you're bringing to life, is it truly aligned? Okay. Is it really an alignment with your evolutionary intention? Is it really alignment with your vision? And so we're going to have a period here of really being asked, are you taking actions towards things that are really in alignment with what you truly desire to bring about in this life? How are you kind of feeling this energy, Jess?
Yeah, so I feel like first off, a lot of what's coming up for me is making me really feel into what do I really believe I'm capable of? And like I've had a lot around like self-doubt, or like it's a lot coming back to myself and my self-belief, but then also looking at just the opportunities I have and where I'm putting my attention and energy. And just like, I'm feeling like I have to reprioritize. Like, that's what it feels like to me, is prioritizing. Like, and like you said, like, is this real? Like, is this really in alignment with what I'm working towards, with my big vision, my big dream? And I have all these little pieces that I just feel like I need to look at. And I think that's where I'm like a little bit in the unknown right now, is because I have some things that I'm like, oh, I don't see how this quite fits together yet. Like I intuitively feel like somehow this is going to unfold and fit together, but I just can't see how.
Mhm.
So yeah, it is bringing in a lot of that need to trust as well.
Oh my
But
God, is it
yeah,
ever? Yeah, for sure. I like what you said about the belief because, you know, there's another big aspect that's happening this week, and Jupiter retrograde has been retrograde for a little bit now, and it's been in Aries. It's at 0 degrees of Aries right now, which is pretty significant. It's moving back into Pisces for a little bit. Not very long, just for a little bit this month in Scorpio season. In Scorpio season, remember, it's about evolving. We're evolving. There's a change happening, a big metamorphosis happening right now that is going to unfold for the next 6 months because we're going through these eclipses in Scorpio season. And the South Node is in Scorpio. Now, what does that mean? That means it's the South Node is what is said and done. It's what has been that has been helpful at some point, but now in order to evolve, we need to move away from the South Node. And usually the South Node is the lower expressions of the things we need to move away from, which is, you know, exactly. It's like those yucky things of betrayal, abandonment, loss, mistrust, manipulation, all these things that are floating under the surface that are not helping us anymore. And Jupiter retrograde entering Pisces is about developing Jupiter is about developing our truth, developing our own truths and our own labels and our own laws. That is, Jupiter is the right brain function. So we were talking about Mars being in the left brain function right now, which is Mercury. So Jupiter is the right brain. It's trusting your intuition right now, and it's entering Pisces. And Pisces is all about beyond our sense of control. It's having to surrender control. So people can be feeling a loss of faith right now, or really the polarity of that is having strong faith right now. But anyway, all that to say is that Jupiter entering Pisces is a huge ending, because Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system and it expands. It's expansive. So it's going to expand the areas of your life. If you look in your chart where you have Pisces, okay, it's going to expand those endings. So just what Jess was saying about our truth is that what is happening is our perspectives and our truths are, we're going to be ending old perspectives. Like we're going to be letting go of old perspectives, old truths that we no longer hold, that are no longer good for us or in alignment. Basically, it's not about good or bad, but it's no longer in alignment with where we're heading. So I kind of love this energy because it's not going to be super comfortable, but it's very, you know what I mean? It's not very, but I'm all up for that because I'm like, I don't like to be uncomfortable. Nobody does, I don't think, but
yeah.
I know that the uncomfortable is bringing up the change that we need. And so we have that happening. And then we have Mercury in Scorpio saying, all right, because Mercury is about our processes and how we gather information. And in Scorpio, it's very deep information. So again, a lot of that is coming up to the surface. We're asking more questions. We're asking exposing questions basically this week. And as Mercury moves its way through Scorpio for Scorpio season, we're going to be asking the questions like, what's below the surface? Why is this happening? So it's like that deep internal security is all coming up, and Venus is there too, and that's around our relationship with ourselves and how we then interact with other people. So basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is that we are in the process of evaluating everything. Put it that way. It really is. When you look at the astrology, it's like everything's being evaluated. Everything has to be looked at. How are you understanding your relationships with people? Are the relationships with people still bringing you what you need, what you truly need and desire? Does it still fit in with your beliefs? Because our beliefs are shifting. We're seeing that. And then with the North Node in Taurus, we are asked to become more self-reliant, more resourceful, and more worthy of ourselves. And our relationship with money is also shifting at this moment. So these are all big themes in Scorpio season that we're looking at, and it is all affecting the way we are bringing our vision to life. What are the intuitive hits you're getting around this, Jess?
Well, I had a couple things. One, like when we're talking about our relationships with people and with everyone, I feel like one that's come up for me a lot, and just noticing, oh, I don't even know if I know how to explain this. I haven't talked about this yet. I might have to like go deeper on this another time, but
Yeah, sure.
I
Absolutely.
almost feel like I'm being asked to look at relationships in a whole new way. As far for a long time, it felt like I needed to communicate more and speak up more and be more direct with people. And now I feel like it's kind of shifted into more around like the expectations I have of others and honoring where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to still communicate with them and be true to myself, but like I feel like I'm really feeling called to like hold space for people in a new way, and just understanding like they have their own patterning and conditioning. And I may have touched on this before, but I feel like before I was so much more focused on like how am I communicating with others, and it's kind of like, and maybe it's because I have been communicating better. I mean, there's always room for improvement. I'm not saying I've mastered it or anything, but it's like there's something different about the way I'm letting people be who they are in a way. And like if there's something that needs to change, it's asking like, okay, what's one small thing that can change? What can I say or do to help this change? But it's not about changing overnight. It's just like maybe there's one small dynamic of a relationship that needs to shift a little bit. And it's okay if it just shifts a little bit. It's a step in the right direction.
Totally. I like that.
So that's one thing around the relationships. And then the other one that stands out like with money is, and worthiness is, it feels like that I mentioned earlier, like, you know, having things come up around like believing in myself, like what do I really believe I'm capable of? And I think that is also connected to the money and the worthiness. So I feel that shifting as well.
Yeah. So there's big shifts around how we view ourselves, basically,
Mm-hmm.
and then in relation to what we're attached to. That's Scorpio, you know, and how there's certain things we're attached to right now that I feel is the undercurrent coming up, and having a look at, well, why are we attached to certain things? And then it makes us question, I feel, with the astrology as I look at it, it's like questioning the intentions, though, are what is behind everything you attach to. Is it around your desire? Is it around your intentions? And is it around like, what is it that you're wanting? Like, what's the basically what's the point, right? What's the point of what you're attached to? Because usually when you attach, you commit to something, you merge with something. It's because it's bringing you something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so right now we're all at a point, I feel anyway, in myself, I'm actually looking at, okay, in Scorpio season, all our fears come up. It's like, because it's all that shadowy energy coming up to help us change and evolve. So in order to change, we have to look at, okay, well, what's not working anymore? And I feel that that's what we're looking at in every relationship, whether regardless if it's money or other people or anything we're attached to, because like, I mean, we're attached to money. We need it to survive. It's also some sort of a survival mechanism, you know, in a way. It's like, okay, well, so we're having a look at all that. And Venus is coming into play too, and really having us to look at our self-worth and is the things we are attaching to bringing us really what we need? And I know for me, like there's it's just a lot of fear of judgment, a fear of missed opportunities if I make those changes. I'm actually also looking at a lot of my relationships, and they're not all the just intimate relationships. I'm looking at all kinds of different relationships I hold lately, and I'm really getting the feeling it's like I almost feel guilty because I'm like, oh, is this serving me? Then if I have a feeling it's not serving me, then I feel bad. But it's like, at this stage in our
Mhm.
evolutionary process, it's we can't just stay for people pleasing.
Right.
That's what we're letting go of, and that's what we did a lot in Libra season. We were really looking at how are we still like, showing up just to please. How are we stay being true to ourselves, you know? And yeah, it's just very interesting times, and a lot of energies coming up. And I feel like right now I'm feeling a lot is around like that slowdown. It's helping us, that Mars retrograde and even the Jupiter retrograde. I feel it's really helping us slow down the process and fully think things through. And the point is to create awareness of the soul's desire. Like, what is it, like your vision, and have a look at that and bring us closer to purpose. Anyway, that's what I'm feeling. And so these loops. So Jess and I have been discussing a lot around these loops of patterns playing out. So, don't be surprised in Scorpio season that there's a lot of patterns replaying out, um, for you to fully see them. And I feel that that's exactly what Scorpio season and eclipse season is bringing to light. And then Jess, you can give us your insights on that before we end the video. But it's like, what has been coming to light? There's a truth. There's something that you're meant to see, that you're meant to be truthful with yourself about how your attachments and what you're holding on to and what patterns you're playing in that seem comfortable, but you're looping. And it's asking you to break free from some of those patterns here in Scorpio season. I feel it's a great opportunity, especially that the eclipse are happening here. It's because there's a window, there's a nice portal, or whatever you want to call it. There's a window of opportunity that our souls are giving us right now to say, it might not be easy, but anything outdated, anything that's holding you back right now, I'm going to show it to you with a bright freaking light. So let's wait to November 8th, okay? Because we're having the lunar eclipse, and it
Yeah.
will highlight everywhere that you are depending on things that are no longer meant to hold you. So whatever has been holding you back, there's a truth coming to light around that, and it wants you to make a different choice. So we have a nice point in our evolution right now through Scorpio season, and you can start it this week, guys, for your direction. Is a nice point of switching something out, making a new choice.
Yeah. I feel like one more thing coming through with making changes and letting go of attachments or how something needs to look or be, or reevaluating whatever it is you're doing. Like, I think too, like sometimes when we're going through and reevaluating, it's not always about letting something go, but sometimes we just need to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes it's not that something's not for you, but like, is there a different way to do it? And I think that's part of like how being a path paver, being a change maker. It's not always that something, I mean, yes, we have things we have to let go of, right?
Oh
But
yeah, for sure,
sometimes,
right?
but sometimes it's not about letting it go. Sometimes it's like, wait, is there a better way to do this? Is that can we do this differently? And so I feel like a lot of that is coming up too. And that's a repeating pattern. I feel like for me that's coming up is um like I know you mentioned this on one of the videos last week, Brandy, about like, being told to, be the good girl or do things the right way, and it's like I can't remember exactly how you worded it, but it's almost like, yeah, we feel that way because there is a different way to do things and we're meant to show up differently and do things differently. That's how the world gets changed. Like something doesn't have to be
Exactly.
done the way that it's always been done just because it's always been done that way. Like
Yeah, and we're seeing
question
that.
these things. And this goes for all areas of life, all aspects, every single category, whether it's family, friends, finances, job, work, rules, government, like it doesn't matter what it is, like what can be done differently. I feel like
Yeah, and
that's,
we're definitely
yeah.
seeing that with Pluto. Okay, Pluto, by the way, Pluto, well, those of you who know astrology and who are more into it will know, but Pluto does rule Scorpio, and Pluto's in Capricorn, evolving all the areas that have been crystallized, that have been, uh, see it this way, Capricorn is like a structure that is up to keep things structured and boundaries and, rules and ways of doing things. And all those things are shifting. Everything that has been built is being evolved through Pluto right now. So we all have Capricorn in our charts somewhere. And like just said, it doesn't matter what area of life really, but it's wherever these big structures are, they're being dismantled for us to move along the path and do it differently. So path pavers, definitely you're feeling it even more because you know that there's another way to do it. There's another structure, and that's a lot of what Jess and I want to encourage and help and support you with, is bringing that new vision to life, that new way of doing things, and bringing that to light. So, but we need to do it consistently, and we need to, the path paver is someone who knows that there's change that has to happen, and then we can definitely guide you and support you in that direction, especially with having a map all laid out for us, which is really, really nice. So I think what we'd love to do right now is invite you. We want to invite you and come over if you feel called to, if this resonates. And that's exactly actually what Mars will help us do as we come into this slowly retrograde season of Mars, is that if you're reevaluating what's in alignment for you, and what choices you need to make. Well, we have a beautiful energy transmission coming through quite shortly here next week, I believe, from Jessica, helping us very much anchor in, because we need to integrate the changes. It's not just about knowing about them. We can know everything we want here, but if we're not making the choices, if we're not making the changes, which is in your everyday life, right? And then we just had a powerful attunement for the new moon that just happened with the Scorpio eclipse, which is yesterday, and we have another one coming up on November 8th, which you can all have access to. And we'd love to invite you to learn more about it by clicking the link below this video, having all the information you need there. Was there anything missing, Jess?
No, I just have to say with the energy transmission, I do feel like I'm feeling like the word transformation is coming to me, and it feels like there is going to be energy coming through helping us to anchor what it is we're transforming through,
Yes.
because we want it to stick. That's what it feels like. It feels like it's like helping these changes that we're making and what we're moving through, helping it to like actually stick. Like, is it really going to be different this time? Like, I feel like that's what's coming through. So I'm excited for that. I think, yeah, it
Yes.
feels,
Me?
I'm already feeling into it. It feels good, feels supportive. So we'd love to have you if you're feeling called, if you need that extra support. Of course, you can tap into that yourself, but I mean, we all can, but it can be so supportive to have a space held for you where you're actually staying present and focused and having someone help you move through that and anchor it. Like it's so supportive. So
Oh, it's been so
definitely.
beneficial for me, that's for sure. I love
Yeah.
that aspect. I definitely need that part. I need it. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on our journey. Like I said, things are kind of shifting, changing because we are in our own evolutionary process, but we'll have more details for you as it comes along. So follow our journey by clicking the subscribe button, and we'll be here with you again to give you more energy updates of how we're sensing and viewing the energies. And with that said, we're wishing you a great day. Lots of love and flow to you, and we'll see you soon.